Welcome everyone for the afternoon discussion. So, introduction. I invite for the question or statements for suitable topics to be discussed. Please.
Okay. I have a question regarding the next step to Dhammajiva. Say you lose the breath and then you keep on keeping the mind at the focus point of concentration, and then what really happens is you feel like about you still analyze the situation there, what sort of thing happening, how it changes, and then what will happen?
I think the question you have to rephrase it. What happened to be it is nothing to be expected. If that is the case, that natural unfolding will not happen. This is kind of a thing, like if I am to give a simile of astronaut. He has been trained here under the force of gravity, and after a certain amount of the journey, they reached the area there is no gravity. So it takes a long time for him to get acclimatized into this from gravity to non-gravity situation. Likewise, that whenever the mind takes just starting the journey from this conventional world and our perception, everything is in the labels and kind of set pattern. But after you are reaching that Dhammajiva level, all labels lost. They become invalid. And the mind has to find a new set of symbols and labels to communicate. So therefore it takes long time. It feels like lost. It feels like because there is no teacher for the mind itself. It has to acclimatize to its situation. So whenever the Dhammajiva comes into being, boundaries dissolves. You can't say this is inward, this is outward. Yeah, and not only that, the one way is that internal, external difference. Other thing is the good and the bad difference, just and unjust difference, and ought that ought not, do and don'ts, all dissolves. Everything works in this convention, and there you can say this is in-breath and out-breath, this is my rest of the body, and this is the outside me. And when you go to Dhammajiva, that boundary dissolves. And you do not know the heat is good or bad, heat is heat. The cold which comes, whether it is good or bad, do not know, it's cold is cold. And together cold and heat we call Tejoda. Within that particular heat element, you find the opposites, heat and the cold. And about the earth element, you find the hardness and the softness, smoothness and the roughness, and the heaviness and the lightness. So usually in the world they are opposites, in the polar opposite. But as far as Dhammajiva is concerned, it's just two facets of the same thing. So whenever you lose the boundaries, then only it takes long time for your mind to get acclimatized in this situation. Usually the mind reads this conventional part is as you at home, a familiar part, and this is completely new thing. But the Buddha says that is your real home. And this is what you learn in your culture, in this short life, it is imposed. This is good, this is bad, this is just, this is in, this is out, this is the beginning, this is the end. So therefore, you are completely now in this, imbibe in these conventions, and you take it as for the truth. And Buddha just slowly let your mind to go into this sphere. And when you go there, definitely you get lost. You do not know what is the head and the tail. And after acclimatizing, going to deep layers, you understand both of them are two possibilities to equilibriums. This is also possible, balancing equilibrium. They are also possible. So over there no navigation is necessary. No directions are not necessary because frictionless path. And everything you experience as the one unity. It is not visible, it is not audible, it is not sensible. That category is no more. When you go to Dhammajiva, there is no sensory mediation. And therefore that it is just a matter of acclimatizing. After then, the mind itself has to decide, and it still has to be familiarized with a possible equilibrium. So therefore, if you are going to do something, you are going to do in terms of this conventional instruction that is not valid over there. So therefore, you must have your boldness. And because it's a example may be bad. I am not talking with my own experience. That is what happens when you are taking drugs. You go to that, when you go to the trip, you lose these old values and you are in ecstasy. And to the amount that the the chemical is working. But the only thing is one way. When you come back, you are again at the agony. Next day also you need the same or higher amount of chemical, and then you can maintain there, but we can't simply say they are bad people. I mean, they have gone to that and they know it's a frictional path, therefore why not go there? Only thing is they are going with the chemicals and they become ultimately addicted and your brain cells will be gone. So the Buddha also, therefore I would say meditation is the biggest addiction in the world. When you go there, you will never come back. But it's free of charge. And go there and come back.
And no after effects.
No after effects, no side effects. But if you are asking from this point of view about what to do over there, then nonsense. And from that point of view, you can't ask what to do here. Because they are two, but the human mind can mediate it. It is the only thing can accommodate these two. And this, the Dhammajiva is not the ultimatum also. This is a kind of, you are at the end of your diving board in the swimming pool and you are taking the momentum so you can put a somersault and jump into the other world. But even that itself is unbearable. Because we are so addicted to the convention. We are so addicted to the linear method of understanding, we never allow the things to unfold. We ask what to do once you go there. So is let go there, come back, be there as much as possible so that it will be its own teacher. He'll understand. It's a kind of experiential, not theory-based. And again, I am stressed that is not the ultimatum. And therefore, it is one step. Likewise, there are 2-3 steps you will be, how you call it, trained. And each train is challenging. Really challenging because all your values and all your set of measurements, yardsticks and everything goes invalid. So ultimately, those people have no that much of boldness. They ultimately feel better to be at home and that is something you can talk and you can communicate and you have the measurements and kind of thing. So hardly people, even they expose, they select this path as an adventurous area because many are not adventurous. And therefore they are not only just mere exposure to that, but have the appreciation of it. Appreciation of the same, at least has to, it's a system, it's a paradigm, it is itself, equilibrium by itself, at equilibrium by itself. And then once you go there, what you have to do is, it is happening in a kind of completely imbibing it. Don't put rationality into that. Don't ask what to do the next, and that it will assimilate what to the next. But I have never seen single person those gone there and not asking questions. Everyone is confused. It is natural. It's not what we have to encourage is just accept as it is.
Need a teacher, no?
The teacher will say, I am also went there and I was also in a confusion, and after a number of times also I went there. That is the exact thing I have to tell you. You go there and just experience yourself, acclimatize yourself, season yourself. And that is why the Buddha says, no one in the world, even if they go there, they will never consider this as the correct path. They always question it because they are at home. The measurements are there, the faculties are helpful, your whole knowledge is back at home waiting. And you can communicate, but when you go there, that communicate, I completely used to the dimension of here now I am. You can't see yesterday and tomorrow. In Dhammajiva, no yesterday, no tomorrow. And Dhammajiva, you can't feel other places, you have to be very here. And you can't feel what happened to the other person. Even if that is your children, or father, or cutter, or baby. So you come to the dimension, it's only in the one paradigm, here now I am. But when you come home, you can have yesterday, tomorrow, you can have family members, and you can have all the kind of things. So you feel familiar, you feel like in the nest. So therefore always you wish to come back.
How many people fail?
That is 99.9999. Failure. Don't think about it. It is the way. Good people who wish to go to the unknown, who wish to go to the liberation, they I think that Krishnamurti as well as Eric Fromm, they say we are always painting our prison. We are inmates in the prison and always painting our prison and proud about our prison. We never think about escape. Even we are freedom fighters, when the freedom comes, we feel like lost. We feel like we go to the unknown area. So therefore always better to have be in the same old prison. And better to whitewash it and grass it and kind of thing. Keep it neat. Come home happy. Be happy.
I'm saying so there are no thoughts in your mind Dhammajiva?
So if there are thoughts, that's a mixture. So if you are, what you have to do is let the whole Dhammajiva to happen. And don't try to give the thinking mind, deductive knowledge or rationality to work. That means you are adulterating. But at the beginning you go with little Dhammajiva, a lot of thinking. And by familiarizing, you understand the breath, the body, external, everything is nothing but Dhammajiva. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, everything is just by present moment, that is complete. And the very experience is the what definitely the other person experienced, but he is not ready to do it. He always wished to be with the convention, therefore he never opened the window even to the Dhammajiva, but it's exactly happening in the other person also. So likewise you come to know. So this is what we call wisdom. It's a manifestation of by season, not by manipulation, not by a systematic thinking or not through a formula, nothing. So from the convention to the Dhammajiva, it's a changeover of the paradigm by more and more familiarization. More and more familiarization and seasoning of the same thing. And that is why it says if you are living among a group which has acquaintance with the Dhammajiva, your chances more to feel comfortable at them. Because others feel homely when we are talking about Dhammajiva. But those who are living only in the sensuous pleasure, they know only the knowledge with the faculties, you feel like lost, feel like space odyssey, disoriented. So you take the refuge of same old sensuous pleasure, sensory kind of knowledge. Because we are so slavery. We are slaves to this knowledge and materiality and materialistic pleasure. So whenever we go to this immaterial pleasure, we feel like lost, disoriented. So the Buddha says, therefore, even if you are exposed, hardly any chance for you to understand this is the frictionless path, this is the liberation, this is the unknown, and the way you act that, Krishnamurti put into it, the freedom from known, you normal people will consider as a catastrophe. Unless otherwise you get the freedom from known, you will not expose to that. You will not get the membership there. So you have to give up this, you have to sacrifice it, you have to generously give up all what you know, all your identity, all your assumption, all your likings, disliking. Everything has to give up. So that is why you have to start with giving some eatables and materialistic things and the fearless, not to give the fear by not to killing, not stealing and kind of thing. Slowly you train. The peak, the culmination is giving up of your own liking and disliking, giving up your identity, giving up your sakkaya-ditthi, the egocentric idea, giving up of your soul, and slowly happens. But when you go up to that level, usually it appears like a catastrophe.
What you do there is also same. Keep on looking.
You can't face that to a state.
That is completely
you are not there. Doing is not there. So what you do is, it's an illegal question. Illegal formation of the sentence. Something happens.
But
it is not happening to you. This is the universe. This is the truth. And so we wanted to say, I see it, I have to do it. That means you are not qualified to the Dhammajiva. You disqualifying yourself to the Dhammajiva because that Dhammajiva is not belong to a particular person, particular place, particular this thing. It is the universal truth, I mean, common fact. But how to get acquainted with that, how to be acclimatized with that, how to be seasoned with that, it's an art, it is not a science. It's an art, just like a young baby learning language. And no one is teaching. But when you understand the task, whenever you go and learn the second language. How difficult, but the young babies, they take everything without even the instigation of the parents. So like it's an art. It happens through mere by embracing. It's a mere by the loving kindness. Or the compassion. Not on the wisdom. Question comes out of the wisdom, but the answer never comes out of the wisdom. The answer comes from the accommodation, the loving kindness, the embracing. To see your capacity, you can do very well and be there and without any problem. You become, I would say that, Phoebe. You can live either God, water as well as in the uplands. And usually we know only the upland life, but there you can well be in the water and still you find still manageable. So there you run back and say, I need oxygen cylinder, otherwise I can't go there. But it is not, it is endowment.
So when you answer Arjun that you kind of, like the nose, the tip of the nose when you're concentrating, it's like the middle. It's like the middle and everything else that's happening around all the thoughts. It's like the rest of the picture, but you're supposed to stay to the middle. Can you please elaborate on that?
So this is the way that the connection has that the absolute is going to work. Then usually your problem is disoriented. You can't verify it, so you don't know whether you are in the correct path or not. So what you do is always try to keep the familiarity with the primary object. So that means the middle of your picture. Just like a bullseye in the target board. You just observe that as much as it is available. So that otherwise mind can't comprehend it. It is like the kite gone, cut off from the thread. And then no control. So therefore just to see whether the thread is intact, you just pull it and see. And if it is over to the last drop, you will just see the most familiar object, the primary object. It appears like the vibration at the center. That vibration was not really depicting the in-breath phase, out-breath phase, but that's a kind of a representative is there. And you can't comprehend it at your nose or your body, because space has also dissolved. But just keep as much as possible with the familiar place, in order for mind to become some kind of, get some orientation, till it go and rest on this the spaceless, timeless sphere.
And so I know when you lose the breath of the nose, is it normal to kind of feel it when you lose the breath of the nose and you're kind of trying to see, when you become unsure, it's you've lost it, even though you can't feel it. And then if you say doubt, like if you start doubting and thinking, have I just stopped breathing or have I stopped feeling? Is it okay or normal to kind of think, okay, I can feel it at the back of my throat? Because then it's like shifting the thought to like the back of the nose.
So this is you are trying to get orientation, trying to get a benchmark. So when the surveys are measuring, it's a big area, really they first fix a temporary benchmark. So if the theodolite is like that, daily they fix the theodolite on the same benchmark. So that today's orientation he can reinforce tomorrow's one day after one, because it is taken from the same point. So this particular point we call the temporary benchmark. So it's very important till the survey is finished. But to the final map you don't find it. Temporary benchmark is a technical dot. It is a foundation or a stone or a stump or something like that. So primary object is our temporary benchmark. Daily we fix our theodolite on the same point. And when it is gone, if it is appearing in another place, that means your original selection of a primary object itself is questionable. This may be your original place. That's also an indication the way you ask the question. So if even it is not matter, as you mentioned, after you lose the space and kind of thing, or you get that out with the nose, if it is finding, try to see whether it is also leading further.
What happens if it's not the throat, it's more like the nasopharynx, like literally like right behind.
So that is the real place you must start with. But you have been failed, so that is why you have selected some other place close, near to that, and once it disappears, still that point is remain, but that also to be lost in time. So whatever may be, you understand mind is how fearful to see unknown.
So but if it's like, if that's supposed to be my primary focus, then, because I don't know how to concentrate on that, because...
No, I do not want to complicate. What I am telling is, go to that, as far as you can take the refuge of that. But meanwhile understand, mind is searching something to hang. Your self-ego is searching some place to hang. And your soul is, you are going to support it. That is the only thing I am challenging. We call, when you fall into the water, even the flowing straw, we hold into that, not a big rope or a root. Even the straw you talk it, because we are at a desperately waiting sound. So likewise, our soul, our self, our notion is so desperately challenged. It is asking something to hang it. But are we going to support it? Want to see non-self, therefore you just see how it is desperately searching, and if it is happening, well and good. But that is not the prime task of the yogi, to see and just let the soul to become non-self, the Sakkayaditya to become dissolved. Instead of giving another good peg to hand or me, alternate that you are supporting your dissolving Sakkayaditya. You are supporting, reinstalling, you are dissolving Atta, dissolving your notion, perception. So it's a good point to be discussed and see how to behave under such circumstances. You can see. I will give one example, a detrimental example, but I'm sorry. There's one very senior monk, he was an English person. After the Second World War, he went to Sri Lanka and started meditating. Complete dedication. Went to the forest and living only with the bowl. No single speak, but people give the bowl. Ultimately, he developed unbearable acidity. Gastritis. Gastritis. And can't give up. And his brain was so sharp. He has written a book, Clearing the Path. It's very famous among the Westerners. He wrote down everything. He's a very good writer, well versed in Tripitaka. the canon, and he has done a lot of correspondence, everything published now. Ultimately decided to commit suicide, and there is no way. And what he did was, he put a polythene bag and rubber band, that's it. And now he is enduring, and he is breathing the last drop of oxygen. But instead he take only the carbon dioxide. And there the day before the thing happened, he can't bear it up, he removed the bag at the last drop. And then he write the experience, how he experienced the last is the internal organs itself is fighting for the last drop of oxygen. There is a fight inside. Left lung is fighting with the right lung, and the heart is fighting with the liver to get the oxygen. So they are independent enemies, he says inside. We consider as one entity, but when something lacking happens, internally there is a fight. Each and every cell has independent life. They are not belongs to us. And as far as they belongs to us, we foster them, we bathe them, feed them, and kind of thing. Whenever the desperate situation happens, you can find they are so vehemently fighting with the others, and it is a very clear indication they have their own individual intentions. And next day he got.
How did you do next time?
He
did the same thing?
He did the same thing. That day he says, I went to the brink, and definitely tomorrow I can do it. He is such a person, and he's factor. So
isn't that a big karma though, to commit suicide?
Definitely.
So but he should know that by doing all the meditation and reading.
But during the Buddha time, two people did it.
They go to the hell, right? Straight away.
They got enlightened at the death experience.
Yes. Buddha allowed, no one person asked.
What to do?
Yeah.
He is not asking from the Buddha, he is committing, and Buddha ways he has done. He contemplated on the pain at the death. In this game, you can't measure it with this conventional kind of thing. Anything valid.
So, that is exactly what I asked yesterday. When someone commits something wrong, and then he goes to a lower way in the following life. So, what is the way out for him to come up again?
No, there's no formal method. Another thing is, by commitment, as she mentioned, it is a wrong thing. But during the time of the Buddha, they made use this wrong event, wrong experience, to really experience and see through it, and experience, go to the final. And they are no rebirth. Finished. So in that sense, it is not a bad thing.
You accelerated your...
Yeah, that is called Samasisi Nibbana. Samasisi is the death moment, and the Nibbana is come together. And they contemplate on the pain on the death.
But did they know?
Huh?
Did they know about that? They're going to change line with that?
That all the experiences of the after death, we have no any clues, we have no any direct experience, we are all, but at that time the Buddha was observant. So that is the only evidence we can say. Otherwise, the person who go never come back and give you what you call their results.
When somebody commits suicide, don't they die for the next 7 lives in the same way?
I am sorry to quote this example. My example is just to indicate when you are in a desperate situation how the mind is working. So that is, I say that by putting these things into the discussion, that the direction will be other way. I am not promoting committing suicide. This is a good example to say internally how the mind is trying to get the hook. Just like when the death breath disappears, it wants yet another place to take the pinpoint, get the peg.
And so what exactly is Dhammajiva? Because you have, so the first time that you use the breath, then I remember last year you were saying
they are just incident. Dhammajiva means everything. Though they explain with the normal words, happening due to these four elements. That is physics. If you ask the person who practices the physics, and the blow means to another person, hit means what? It is not one person hitting other person, but it's a blow. So likewise, there is yet another way of explaining the same thing, telling I got cold, oh, it's an element of the Thero Dhatu. So that when you are practicing one thing, observe long time, your way of communication changes from convention to Dhammajiva. It can happen by the repeating of the breath, or while walking, or without any instruction. You can come to know, as the Newton heard here, feel the apple falling on his head. He came to know this is gravity. This is not to the Dhammajiva in the religious term. There is no religion there, there is no spirituality. And in the meditation, of course, we have taken, and as and when it is unrevealing, or this thing happens, different people have different stage-wise explanation is possible. But it's understanding the whole world is physics. You can understand the chemistry also. You can understand the biology also. You can understand the economy, politics, anything. This is the way to show you are nothing but physics. Law, it's a universal law. Even though you say, I do it, it happened to me. From the physics point of view, no person, no soul, no entity. That's a natural law. So therefore, you always not to start with the breathing to go into the Dhammajiva. Some people go with that, some people go with walking meditation, some people go. All of a sudden, can happen.
Like you just go to your mind loses a different course.
And it's changing the paradigm. All of a sudden you start to speak Sinhala and speak English and speak another language. That's just changing this thing in the radio channel. So it is not always, not necessarily through the meditation. Meditation also it happens, and it may we make use it in the sake of communication with others, and put in the gradual explanation, we use it.
So what's the difference between Dhammajiva and jnana experience? Like, because you have jnana and then you have jhana experience and then you have Dhammajiva.
That is why that jhanic experience is one life. Vipassana jnana separate, and Dhammajiva is part and parcel of Vipassana jnana. At the Vipassana jnana, you see everything as a Dhammajiva, nothing, no person, no self, no being. But things are happening. As you see through an X-ray, you can see how the bones are working. Just like you see, it is not a magical thing. But the same thing, while you are sitting, you feel the touching points. Or when you are moving, you see the movements. Not your hand, not in terms of hand, you can see the movements. So likewise, the same thing you explain in different terms, different language. Dhammajiva is yet another explaining the same thing. That is why I am telling that Dhammajiva is not the ultimate. It's that, for example, when you are walking, you can observe yourself as an outsider. When you are looking as an outsider, that experience is something novelty. It's almost close like Dhammajiva. Dhammajiva also, whenever you feel Dhammajiva, there is no person. It is just physics, it's just energies are working. So that happen only when you are observing one thing for a long time. That's a sure method. Accidentally that can happen. But this is a gradual way of instruction. Observe one thing again and again, so mind see from the different perspectives, different languages, different laws. Judgments are also commonly you meet on the way.
What can you do when you stop meditating when you suddenly feel nauseous?
Well,
Like, when suddenly you stop meditating when you feel nauseous, what can you do to stop that?
what do you mean by stopping meditation?
Like, say the bell rings, or not the bell, the alarm goes, or something like that, and then you stop, and then you feel nauseous. How do you stop it? How do you stop
The thing is that by going along, don't stop meditation. If possible, you continue. And it is that alarm needs to make the regulation in the timetable. So then otherwise, if you feel the body is not ready to get up and jump, and the mind is not get up ready to this thing, you be there little while, and then when the Jnanarama is, you just wipe the body and kind of thing, give you another understanding of the conventional this thing. Just like after operation and after first patient get up from the anesthesia, that he must be slowly acclimatized into the situation. Immediately he can't get up and go. It is dangerous. So likewise, after long sitting and with the deep layers of the concentration, all of a sudden if you get up, the mind takes little time. But it's very fast, it catches up. And some elderly people, they sit, and when the bell goes, they get up and collapse. They can't cope up with it, because it has to be slowly. You have to make yourself and shake and do. Then again, mind come and understand that its own normal background, and then come back. Drunkard, they also go to completely different world. And then to recover, a long time, hangover is there.
Actually, that gives a bad stigma to meditation, because some people, I know, they have said, for past some age you should meditate because it gives you
this is common sense. Yeah. That we can acclimatize, but it takes time. The adapting to the new climate always takes time. So when I am traveling, first time when I go there, I fall and sick. Because I thought I am strong enough, I can do open meditation outdoor. So everyone told, don't go out, wait. Then I do what function that I can do. 1 week's time, complete my throat out, it's a viral infection. And when I go to again the UK, and they are also I got the same. So therefore now what I do is after till one day, just be inside the house and just let the body to read the new climate, new time and the internal biological clock, everything to be acclimatized. So that takes time. You can't accelerate it. By accelerating, you really delay it. Best thing is to let it come. And that is the way our mind and body become more versatile, more applicable for wider range, if you can quickly acclimatize into different things. It will never done unless otherwise you expose yourself. Otherwise it will be in the very narrow sphere and you will, it is your comfort zone. But what happens is you become vulnerable to each and every variable. So what the scouting, the girl guides and others says that boys and girls must be exposed to all the kind. And the Buddha says, of course you have your use of past merits and happy, merits and everything, you have the luxury, but you must go to the minimum and see how can you do it. That is how you give the full range to the mind to understand. But anyone seeking the pleasure is natural. We go maximal to the pleasure, that is our mind. But the Buddha says, in order to widen the range, purposefully, you go to the minimum. And then, ultimately whatever the changes happen, easily you can accommodate. So changing from the sitting to the day-to-day activities and all of a sudden getting up and midnight you break the rest and changes. These things are good indication how much our system can accommodate, cater for different stages. And I think human mind is the best in the world. That can accommodate all the contrast. But it takes time. For that only you have to be compassionate. You must be facilitating that, and then again it goes the normal way.
I have a question. I like to know Vijnana, then Chitta, and Mana. Are those three the same?
At times it is considered as a synonyms.
Synonyms,
Chitta, Mana, Vijnana, all in the to the Abhidhamma. One book it says, but some Mahayana teachers, they try to put in the orderly manner. The Vijnana is the thing. So it is Mana Vijnana, Mano Vijnana, and then once defiled it is called Chitta.
What I heard actually, this is the discussion, that Chitta is not exactly, Mana is, then gave the verse, Mano Kumbhaka Dhamma, Mana is the prana, and Chitta is not, doesn't belong to Mana. I said, how can it be? Because the Chitta seems to be, they feeling like it's Rupa part. And Vijnana and Mana...
Can say, but because the Thero are the way of presentation, one word can have many meanings.
No, according to our
But that is it's a completely mentality. It is not a mentality. And it says it's a kind of a defiled, an adulterated form of the consciousness. Chitta. Chitta is always adulterated, Chaitasika. That level at the mind is always smeared with mental factors. Just like the water pool, there is no ripples, no frills, there is still a water body. But the ripples are the thing indicate this is a water body. So therefore in the normal physical, the commoner's mind, always it ripples and waves. And waves and ripples are known mental factors.
Those are like Chetasikas. And the whole water body, and which make these ripples are not the Chitta or the Mana. So whether the forest pool is with waves or not, that's the difference. Without wave it can well trained and well conditioned, will restrain, that's the Mana level. And when it's with the ripples, the waves it is called Chitta. So it's the same thing, but under two circumstances. Now in another area it says Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Manasikara. Then what is the meaning of Manasikara? The other four I understand. The Manasikara there means?
That is the point there the will comes, the free will. Adverting means that when you are going to a buffet diet and you can select whatever you like. And if you are coming from Sri Lanka, you will select with the spices and all the kind. But if you come from different culture, that you advert your mind out of the whole range, that is what you select. Advertisement also the same. And direct your mind to the companion wants. So that faculty is available for the human.
Is it like comprehension?
Comprehension is more related to wisdom. This is when you are given a range, the choice. What you select, what you take it out of your adverting power. You advert, then only you out of the whole range, you select what you feel fit.
You make your mind to get this.
It is, sometimes it says it is a happening of your past memory. Some people say it's your free will, the choice. And that is what usually the marketing people increase, give number of choices, and then the consumer get lost. The same product, but presented in a different way. Ultimately you go to the supermarket, you lost which one is to do. And it decides who you are, not you decide what it is. That's the way marketing happens. So the adverting is that once the range is given, and the choosing, how to choose one thing is due to your own selection.
That is Manasikara.
That is Manasikara.
And Phassa is Nama or Rupa?
That all Nama, Rupa Dharma. Sorry, Nama
Dharma.
Rupa Dharma is only Patavi, Apu, Tejo, Vaya. This four elements.
Phassa can be Rupa. Phassa is actually given a name for something because it...
No, that is going to further into that Mahanidana Sutta, as it's the mental sphere, physical sphere, but it's totally a mentality. But it has passa, adivacana sampassa, patika sampassa. So these two are playing.
Yes.
But when you go to each and every mentality, you have these shades. I mean, duality is working. So if you want to go deep into that, you have to deal with the duality, otherwise very difficult to, for example, if you take the brain, part and parcel of it is physical, but there is a condition where unmeasurable but invariably it is brain function. It is mentality, that is what the science is got stuck now. And earlier they thought there is nothing, whatever may be immeasurable is not scientific. So we'll now go into the neuroscience, neurology and the kind of thing. They find they have to accept there is something happening. So now they say mind science. They put new term. Earlier mind is completely out of the science. That is why the Descartes trail that mind is belong to the church, the physicality belong to the scientist, and mind your own business, don't fight each other. But now after 200 years of fighting, that they come merged, and scientist has to accept. Without the mind, it is no way. So because that within that everywhere you have this duality. So each and every, what you call this, chetasika or mental factor has these two shades, otherwise very difficult to explain it theoretically. On the Maha Sutra, that Buddha is going into the passa in little detail.
That's a Nama.
It's a Dhamma, but inside you have, just like energy, you have the mother's and father's combination. That is how it becomes a complete the cell. So you have the male, female both. It decides at the critical point exactly in the each and every mentality, mental, how do you call this, mental factor. You have shades.
So, forgive you, I don't say the proper words because I don't know. So, is our goal then to surrender what is the so-called free will, surrender into the new will, that you could say, not a new will, but the new condition, the new way of life, which would be according to the precepts and according to the virtues, and working on spiritually growing towards aligning the mind, the soul, with the consciousness. That's the opposite of the free will, correct?
Yeah, that is what we call restrainment. That is what we call training you have to do. That is what the meaning of the restrainment. That you have the two options. One thing is adamantly you can decide what, but otherwise you can just surrender to what is happening. And of course you have, you can do both. One thing you can do, no, that is not what I need this. Like you can interpret the terms and conditions. And that is where the point the friction starts, and the point where the tension starts. For otherwise you can say, whatever the phenomena arises, what is the possibility for me to adapt into that? And then no more friction, no more the tension. So spirituality, highest one, as the Buddha explained, he says you try your best to fit into what is arising, instead of expecting something or instead of interpreting terms and conditions into that. So that is like a surrender. So it is therefore the younger generation, they don't like surrendering, therefore they don't like religion. This is I am doing. I have to set the trend. I am the person doing so. They always be adamant and try to interpret terms and conditions. But after 40s, you know the best thing is surrender. Best thing is surrender, but you feel so shy, so disheartened, so lost. And the heart says yes, the mind says no. And after 50s, 60s, again the heart takes the better chance and say, mind your own business, surrender, and that's the best. So that is not spirituality, that is the knowledge with the age. But the Buddha says, but if you accept it and put this as a thesis, test it, and when you find there is no friction, it's a walkover, there is no tribality, there is no duality. You see how much it is, in the Zen Buddhism it says, just like a water, when you are pouring into it, take the shape of the vessel, whatever means. And then you go to the deepest, and therefore water is the most thriving power in the world, because no one can pull it out because it is in the lowest position and fit into the situation. So even if you pull it out, it will go back to the same. So ultimately water is the winner. Walk on, no fight. But the solid, if you put it there, it won't fit into the vessel. When you put it into the air, it vapors on. But our young life is like solid. Elderly life is vapor. There is no control. And you have to, throughout the life, you have to train it like liquids. And it is the source of faith. In the life, water is the source of life. No one can pull it. So therefore you understand what the least frictional part, or most fitting thing for you to do, and that is your resolute that I am, whatever may be people suggesting and the mind suggested, I must try to fit into the circumstances. The arising phenomena, no interpreting terms and conditions, no expectation.
Then that is our goal as far as observing, letting things happen.
That's the goal, that's the mean, and that's everything. The mean will justify the goal, and will justify the means.
Yes.
So that understanding is we fall correctly. And that is very difficult because we have been trained as the rebellions, fighting.
Yes.
You have to give up, giving in terms of faith, or otherwise by the wisdom. But to understand, yes, fighting can do, but it is just wear and tear. That's nothing. But if you surrender, it's very aesthetic. It's very comprehensive. And ever fresh. Each and every moment is you are fresh.
Just allow as is.
As it is. So that is how the young people they maintain their energy. They never interpret terms. And they are ever young, rejuvenation. And when we are fighting against so much of senility, if you wish to be young, at least at heart, just fit into the situation, that's enough. Don't fight with the nature. And not only the nature, the other members and all the other part and particular thing of the present moment, everything matters. You are not coming at this, I am this, I need this, I am. That means you are boosting up your ego, boosting up yourself. Then the ego says, how can I fit into this society, this atmosphere? And then you are taking the maximum out of your brain capacity just to fit into that, not to adjust it, not to edit that. So that is the way editing and this thing is the wastage, and it's a wear and tear and so much of energy wasted. But if you are trying to fit into the situation, just like Boy Scout and the Girl Guide, according to the circumstances, improvisation, then you are ever young.
Some bad people live long.
Bad people?
Live long.
I mean that for your measurement it may be bad, but he knows how to use. He knows how to handle in the present moment, we don't know. Sometimes maybe they are past karma also. But the good and bad, if good and bad is not yours, good and bad. So it's varying from the culture to culture, time to time.
You know when you were saying walking meditation, I thought you meant literally like walking really slow so that you can feel the foot touching the ground and then like the other foot lifting up and concentrating and being mindful at that moment. But is it actually like fast-paced so that you're increasing energy, like energy use. Like, because I tried, because I remember you said yoga at one point, and I did yoga like 2 years ago, and I haven't tried it in a while, and I just tried some before the sitting in the morning, and I felt like I was more, I don't know, more open to that after that, rather than the slow walking that I did.
That is why you impose slow walking. Walking meditation never prescribes slow walking. It says go for the normal speed. Don't do anything extra telling that walking meditation is just walking. You try to feel while walking how do you experience, while breathing how do you experience, while you doing day-to-day affairs with the while you experience. Therefore, you must you must compare the sitting experience versus the walking experience and the working experience. Though you are not acting or imitating working or walking or breathing, they must be completely natural. Only thing is you are comparing how the sitting experience versus the walking experience, not slow walking. Slow walking is like a crucifixion. You are trying to put a round peg into the square hole. So it is ultimately not you are relaxing, you are not energizing, but you are tensed. Each and every part of the vipassana meditation, nothing you do artificial. You just natural thing to happen and you are just observing as an outsider. That's the difference. Instead you are not acting, you are doing something. Breathing exercise means you are not doing force breathing. You let the breathing happen and observe. And the walking also clearly explain, just walk without any meditation. And after you impose the mindfulness. And see how do you experience not only the soul, the whole body experience. This is given just like an example. When you are given, how do you feel the touch of the ground? It's an example. And in the breathing it says maybe at the end of the nose. But it is not the point. It is very nicely explained that the Zen stories, when the master pointing the finger and say, this is the moon. And if you are looking at the end of the tip of the finger and ask, where is the moon? And they didn't know. You have to go along this projection. That's only way you can see. If you do not know that, you will see the moon in the master's fingertip. And then you fight. Everywhere you fight, and you don't know what you are pointing.
How did you find that example?
I will send stories you have to read. Not just eating and sleeping, not enough. You have to read also. It is really breaking, it is shaking you. We are so accustomed, we are so conditioned. We never go projecting like that. Everything happens, ask Master to do it for you. You don't do the calculation.
Answer, when you do meditation, how do you, that is, separating Nama from Rupa and Rupa from Nama? That's the word Pachiparikanya. Yeah, that is Pachiparikanya.
That is also you are not doing.
No.
Just like Dhammajiva, you find duality. So two things have to come together, clap to happen.
Yeah.
There is no clap of a single hand. So when you are ever, you observe the clapping, you find at least two things are happening. Two things are touching each other. So that understanding two things separately is the Nama-rupa. You can look into that while you are observing again and again. One way is to put thing into the, this is physicality, mentality. And the physicality go into the dhatu manasikara. Mentality go into the mind and the mind factor. So it goes. And each and everyone is not going for the same path. So therefore while observing, I will ask the question, when you are doing breathing, in breath and out, how do you feel the breath?
You are asking a question from
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel it's like when it touches the nostril, it's like cold. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes the breath want to push the push quick. It's hard sometimes. But these are very sensitive areas. It's not very big scale you feel. You have to concentrate a lot on that tip. Then only you feel it.
Yeah, so that coldness and hardness, heat is the material. Understanding cold is not the heat, heat is not the cold, is the mental. That's
it.
Everything, discriminating this and this, is a mental part. Whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you willfully do it or not. So therefore there should have a difference, heat, cold, hardness and the lightness. So these two are Dhammajiva, meant physicality. The delimitation of the heat from the cold and the breath from the thinking, breath from the feelings of the pain, this is happening due to the Nama. That's the way explaining. Any experience you can't do away with these two. So it's a matter of interpreting the same thing, the same experience in terms of physicality and mental. And then physicality you understand is the stiffness, tension, movement, that is the Dhammajiva. Mentality you can go again as just like a grammar, and the verb and the kastu, karaka, kriya, karaka. In each sentence you have the...
Subjective and objective.
Yeah, like that. Something, any phenomena never happen by one-sided. That's why in the sense it says, what is the sound of a clap of a single hand?
No sound at all.
But the clapping happens. Two things has to come and interact.
Yeah.
So that is simply understand what are the two. Two is
Contacting. That is contaction.
Contact means two things at least.
At least two things.
So if your mind is ultimately understand this separation.
But that knowledge comes automatically. We don't have to.
That you can impose also. That is what the theory knowledge means. But whatever the theory knowledge happen, if you do not know, you do not get the idea. Whatever the meditation you do, whatever you listen, won't make any difference. Because you expect something like a Nama-Rupa Pariccheda Jnana separate thing. It is nothing separate. You can't purchase from the supermarket. The same thing you look from the different perspective. That is usually happens when you are observing one thing for a long time. But mind is trying all the possible ways. When you are observing one thing again and again. That is how you exercise your mind. It is a healthy kind of exercise, not by the variety of entertainment. So there are variety of entertainment we call sense pleasure. This we call spiritual task, spiritual endurance. One thing you take and apply again and again. Then only this Dhammajiva, Nama-Rupa Pariccheda, mentality, mind and the mental factors, everything come into being. And it happens according to your past history. The unwinding or unentanglement happen according to your own entanglement. So Buddha gives the normal standard path. And it is not everyone has to go step by step.
Follow the same.
Yeah, it's like a syllabus.
Thank you.
Sometimes once one of our Buddhism teachers who were telling that after the realization of Nirvana, the same being could be reborn. Is there any possibility?
Theoretically, it is not. Nirvana means that you are cutting off the rebirth. So therefore, that if rebirth to happen, there should have karmic causes and ignorance remaining. So if the fully understanding happens, it's impossible. But the people can tell anything, no problem. There is no license you have to take for these things. And you are the only person, listener must understand what to take and what to throw. When you are going there, people are coming out with different theories and stories and all the kind of things. By just looking at them, we understand what is their final aim, what is goal, what is the use of this talking. And then we must not try to disprove it because it's a wastage of time. Forget about it. May mind your own business.
So I must have a question, but I don't know. It's not related to mindfulness, and I don't know if it's a waste of time. Is it true that the fears that we have in this life, like, they are from the causes of death that we died in previous lives? Like from, say, if we're petrified of sharks, or some people have strange fears like pigeons or...
Yes.
Yeah. Is that true?
No, you can't attribute to the single variable. Anything in his life never happened and then attribute to the single variable. Single fact. And therefore in the cause and effect relationship it says, never single cause give a multiple effects. Never multiple causes give a single effect. Always multiple causes give the multiple effects. In order to explain, you take the most prominent thing. That does not indicate you know cause and effect. Always the group. When you say avidya paccaya sankhara, avidya also have the same mental formations and same mental factors. Sankhara also have the same mental factors. In the first group, avidya is the monitor. In the second group, sankhara is the monitor. But the same class. Same amount of people.
They appear simultaneous.
Yeah. So therefore, when you are asking this question, you try to isolate one single variable. That is foolish. I mean, that is stupidity, because we can't comprehend like that. We have to say many variables and many manifestations. So once you give it that, you never try to arrive at a decision. Instead, you see the possibilities. Rushing for decision means stupidity. So we have to tell the mind, wait a while, I am still in the feasibility study, I am collecting information, so wait till the decision comes. If it says it is rushing, then you can go ahead and go out. So therefore, meditation, even though you say it is not related to the mindfulness is defined evenly suspended attention and suspended decision. You try to give a decision, who can refuse? If we are not omniscient, we have no authority, we can say, still we are accumulating and collecting information. So then we are at comfort zone. Once you give an attention, you commit it. You have to safeguard that. No one can impose you, you must take a decision. Who then can come and tell us that? So we are sentient beings, we have our own weaknesses, we can say, yes, I will take time, this is according to the present setup. These variables are there. So mindfulness gives us such an ease. And it says apannaka patipada, aviruddha patipada. You never antagonize anything. This is also possible, this is also possible, this is also possible, you can never mind. And then no one antagonizes. You say you are correct, you are wrong, then again you get conflict. So you keep on observing, and no, you are not antagonizing anything, you are not fighting against anything. Most things can happen in this world. But from his point of view, it may be true. Maybe I am wrong, so I am waiting. So there is no argumenting, no debating, and no defeat, no conquering. Then because these things never lead to the truth, these never lead to the indifference, never lead to the middle path. Middle path is very calm and quiet, lying behind, away from the argument. As far as argumentation is, they are duality, they are clearly understand is wrong. The path is wrong. When they come to the middle path, no two things. That's a walk away, it's a very relaxation. So therefore, the one easily put aside, because these things, the short life is not to give answers for all the kind of thing. Only thing we have to do is understanding very moment and see to your liberation. Of course, some theory knowledge is necessary, and how much is the range, it's a variable. So therefore, when you go further, when you advance further and further, you will not beat on the bush much. You just shoot the target and save your time and the food. At the beginning you are beating on the bush, every bush is to be beat. You appear like a challenge to you. I have to give the answer, the correct answer quickly, and he must be satisfied at the next question. He will be end up exhausted. Even the Buddha has so much of question, he never take a question. But it is not leading. It is not leading to it. And if it is your own fear, and if you have something burning, of course there is something we have to do because otherwise you can't do meditation, you can't close your eyes, you can't be to the darkness, and there that has to be answered. But the whole fear problem in the world, even you become enlightened, that will not be answered. It will be ever the same.
Buddha said this 7 days to 7 years, if you practice vipassana meditation, but you actually Nibbana, or is it one of the states like Sodapatti?
He says, Saupati says, either Anagami or Arahant.
So you can achieve other levels before.
Yeah. These are the two things he take it as norms. Prabhupada says Anagamita, Anya Satyava Upasiti Anagamita. Anya means Arahantship. If you have any residues remaining, you will be Anagami. Yet with third stage.
Following the Arahant, following very soon after Anagami.
Timing?
Arahant will follow immediately or very soon after Anagami.
There were some of the long-lasting Anagami people during the time of the Buddha also. The bondage from this to that takes some time to be time.
Very few, so to say.
But there are incidents like that Pisaka Upasaka that he explained, and there were some Upasakas, they were at the end of Hatta Aloka, and they had the Anagami level. And previous Buddha also that Jyotipada Manok and the other one is he also Anagami, long time he was in that level.
But the difference is that if those people die before becoming Arahant, they will never go beyond the Brahman.
He goes to Akanita, Brahmaloka, according to this thing. And they have no return back, and definitely the other side. Akanita, Brahmaloka. Akanita means there is no junior. There is nothing to junior. Akanita means junior. Akanita means Dhammajiva is the highest.
Who's that called? Swaminatha Suddhavasa?
Yeah.
Suddhavasas. They never come back.
They
never come to the lower Brahma world.
So that's one nice joke. When I'm going to first visit my teacher, I had great fear to reach him because just a lay person. So I asked two elderly people to come with me just to go. So one person said, not much of a joke, but he was in the Buddhist Publication Society at the desk to meet the customers. So one person came to him and says that I am Arahant. And he's proving again and again I am fully enlightened, right? But this person knows he's just boasting. But never mind, but that he can claim Arahant, no problem. And again tell him. But ultimately he found he has to do this book selling business and he has to do something to irritate the person. He got bloody white. And then go. He said, now the business is finished. And he says, now only I feel he is Anagami because he never came back. That's the way of testing you. So this is really Anagami or not. He will not return.
Never return.
Never return.
An answer, this could be a silly question, but why people meditate so hard and want to be born in these, where the other one, not Suddhavasa, the other one, where you don't have any, the body freezes and they hate the mind. Because of the mind, there's a word for that kind of Brahma world. One is with mind and no body, and that is Rupa Loka, the Arupa Loka. The other one is you got the body but no mind. Because no mind, the body is freezed. So it's going like into a deep freezer.
No, it's going to like America. You can ask why people are going to America. That is my Burmese teacher says.
Yeah.
You Sri Lankan think America is like a heaven. And by putting a button, everything you can get it. But when you go there, you can see what the hell in Americans are.
So we are Putajanas, we are stupid.
I need the example.
Yeah,
then he says one lady after the retreat, the one lady, I just say air-conditioned room, and one lady, American lady, has told one day that even though we reached our car, our air-conditioned machine, the fridge, and all the facilities, the heartburn is throughout. And inside I felt so sorry because that American Burmese people are waiting to get their house air conditioned, so they feel that the coolness in the air conditioned room. But that lady says after coming to the air conditioned room, heartburn is there. And then on the way back, this gentleman was riding and driving, and he is organized. Then he says, I feel sympathy about that lady. You see that after reaching all the kind of thing, still she is having this heartburn. Then driving, the gentleman looking at the side, what you are talking about? That we all are in the same boat. No, he is only talking. And all they are in the heartburn. Then immediately I have come to know, he is a kind of ghostly, the thirsty ghost. And the hungry ghost is Buddha explained. They are eating and drinking ever, but never appeased. So he says America is such. But the Burmese think going to America is like a heaven. But if you ask Americans, those who are thinking only the body, not the mind,
Yes.
they are in the same. So you can simply ask why people like America. And people have different choices. As far as they don't know what is the America and what it really is, the Americans advertise something different. When you come to know. Then we have to sympathize it. We can't say they are fools, they are stupid. You would have also gone through the same liking and disliking in the past. And even we are not completely liberated, so we may do the same mistakes in time to come. So it's a silly question.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's seriously
We can't comprehend what he is thinking and what is the use of arguing it and what is the use of arriving at the decision, because it's yet another combination. I mean, we have no comprehensive power to arrive at a decision success. And we must not antagonize, we must not restrict our children. No other fellow being, you must not think like that. We have no such a business. They have their own way. And according to the way they sow, they will reap the harvest. Okay, now we are almost reaching 1.5 hours. Any? No question? And go for 1 hour walking meditation, and we'll be meeting here at 3:30. Thank you very much for participating.